All right, guys. A little bit of a not the best start, but it's all good. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to 352 Blitz, episode 4 of our new rebranding and everything. I appreciate you guys tuning in and all that good stuff. Obviously, I'm Greg. You got Ed here. You got J Bud here. Omar is here doing something. He's around the area. I promise you he's around. But
I'm back, guys. I'm back. Sorry about that one. Just had to get my Giants jersey on. Gotta get
yeah, whatever. But yeah, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Every social media you can think of. We are at 352 Blitz. All one word. Follow us there, show them some love, like, retweet, all that good stuff. Support us. We appreciate all the love, you guys. If you have any opinions you have, if you think this is stupid or crazy, comment it. We would love to debate you guys, love to hear open ideas and all that good stuff. So, with all that ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So, I think today, as of April 3rd, so Jalen Carter, who is a highly rated prospect coming out of Georgia, defensive tackle, played for the University of Georgia, like I just said. He could go top 5, maybe top 3. He has been having some legal issues. Ed, you want to go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, give me one second here. So what happened with Jalen Carter was, I guess, I'm pretty sure it was either before the championship game or like right after the championship game. He got caught up with in a crash where two fatalities have occurred, and obviously that's very sad. So, and ever since then, Jalen Carter has been having a lot of drama and a lot of negative around his name. And now, with the NFL draft coming up here in the next 2-3 weeks, or 3 weeks from now, Jalen Carter is saying that he knows that he is a top 10 pick, and so he's not visiting anybody. He's not visiting any other teams that are not top 10. That's what the agent said. That came out today. To me, that just, in my opinion, that's just very, for me, it's stupid. I think it's stupid because when you're trying to go to the NFL, you don't know what can happen. We've seen really funky stuff happen before, where a player that's supposed to be top 3, they go out and then sometimes they go in the second round or they go very low in the first round. So for them not to visit anyone else just because you think that you can go top 10, to me it's dumb. I think that you have opportunity to visit everybody. You should do that because you just never know. But the agent came out with that today, and I just don't really agree with it. Of course, other people are like, well, if he's confident enough in his ability of playing and his stats and all that, then obviously he can do as he pleases, which he can do as he pleases. I'm just saying, for me, it's very dumb.
I agree. I think you hit the nail on the head with that one because, like you said, his agent came out and said if you don't have a top 10 pick, don't come talk to us, basically. And I think it was Gerald McCoy. He used to be the defensive tackle for the Bucks. If you don't know him, I don't know how you can't call yourself a football fan if you know who that is. But he came under it. He's saying like, don't ever do that kind of stuff, like, because you never know what can happen. Like Ed said, things could shake up. People could trade forward and trade back during the draft, And next thing you know, you're kind of like Laramie Tunsil, where you're losing tens of millions of dollars on draft night. You know what I mean? You don't want to be giving away money like that. Even though you can see he can earn it back during his career, still, you're not going to get that $10 million back no matter what, So I think, like Ed said, it's stupid. I don't agree with this at all, especially now because he didn't have a good draft. I mean, he didn't have a good combine. Combine wasn't that good. And you're involved in the crash where 2 people got killed. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. What you think, Omar, about the situation?
Unfortunately, obviously, just because of the lives lost. As far as Jalen Carter is concerned and his professional career moving forward, going from college football to pro football, you stated it, Greg. NFL Combine is kind of like one of those first steps that you make to being a pro, and he just wasn't there. He wasn't fully there, I guess, at the combine. He didn't put up the numbers that probably he'd like to, and that he knows he can. He normally put up. I think does obviously affect his draft stock, but I think he's still an NFL talent, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I think he'll still go to the league. There's still a lot of things that need to kind of, develop for him to make it there. So I don't want to jump the gun and be like, yeah, he's gonna go in this round and this round, because right now we don't know. I mean, I know these are two complete different cases here. Like Aaron Hernandez coming out of college, you guys remember he was a little bit of a troublemaker to some organizations, but the Patriots took a risk on him. Not saying that Jalen is a troublemaker, but that still affected his draft stock. That's what I'm just trying to say here. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, hope for the best for him and the families that suffered.
Yeah. Look at that dog, man. That dog wants to be on the live.
Dog wants to be famous.
Yeah. What you think, Jay Butt? Want to hear your opinion on it?
I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. I've been kind of busy, but I've noticed. Yeah, it's a weird situation. I've never heard someone declining after top 10 picks, really ever. And then I think a few days ago there was like a tweet that two or three general managers said like they learned interesting things when meeting with him. So it just seems like a really weird situation overall. Unless the only way you can have your agent say, "Hey, I'm not taking no top 10 visits," is if somebody has already told you we're going with you in the top 10. That's really the only way. And I mean, your two teams are that I know he's met with twice, I believe, is the Bears and Eagles.
Yep.
He met with the Bears the second time today. I could see them going with him. What do they have? 9 now? They dropped down to 9.
The Bears did?
Yeah, so I could see him if that could be the reasoning behind it. Hey, the Bears already told me they're taking me at 9. I don't want to meet with anybody after 9.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
overall, I don't think it's a good, I'm not a fan of what he did, what Rosenhaus came out and said for him. It's not a good look, especially with your character issues you have on your back right now. You got the bad combine. But then again, you guys got to remember, 3 months ago before all this happened, everybody had Jalen Carter number 1. Everybody's early mock draft was number 1.
Yeah, like is he gonna play? If he's gonna play pro ball, yes, he's gonna go play pro ball. It's just a matter of where is he gonna be taken? Who's gonna take that leap?
It's just a matter of like who's gonna take that baggage / risk of a player. I don't think that he's that much of a risk of a player because what he did at Georgia was very dominant. One of the best defensive linemen I've seen play.
Has he had any other? My bad. I'm sorry to cut you off. Has there been any other issues besides these recent stuff?
That I remember from him being in Georgia, not really. I know other people in Georgia got in trouble with different other stupid stuff, but not him. He's been focusing football on me. Yeah,
I mean, he could be a kid that just made a bad mistake. They just won a national championship.
Yeah.
I think he's a day one player, and actually, I think he's a top 5 pick. To be honest, rarely a number 1 pick. If it wasn't for the teams that are the first 2 picks that need a quarterback, I think he would go number 1.
100%.
So I think that he'll get drafted in the for sure in the top 15. And he's gonna ball out in the NFL. I'm not worried about that. It's just kind of weird how the agent and him are kind of moving. But let's move on from Jalen Carter. We wish him the best, and hopefully we'll see him get drafted soon.
His agent's pretty well known, right? Rosenhaus?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very well known. So it's like you said. It's probably somebody told him, "Hey, if you're still there in the top 10 and nobody drafted you, we're gonna pick you. So don't even worry about getting anyone else."
Yeah,
but
it's just
anything can happen. Like a major trade can happen in the first 30 minutes of the draft, and then shakes up the whole draft board. So we shall see. But let's move on from Jalen Carter.
Yeah. So talking about the draft a little bit more. 2 prospects that have been kind of controversial in this this whole draft talk that we have in the past couple months. Will Levis, AR 15. If you guys know who AR-15 is, Anthony Richardson, quarterback from the University of Florida. There's been some teams in the NFL that have said that they are not first round talent. They shouldn't be drafted in the first round. They don't think they'll be in the first round. What do you guys think about that? I'm going to start with Omar this time.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, thank you for picking me because I've been waiting to talk about this.
Yes.
AR is an interesting case because you see the stat sheet in college, and it tells you a different story than what he's actually built to be. He has an NFL body. He has all the athleticism, all the I don't want to say mechanics yet because he does lack a little bit of that. Actually, maybe a lot to some scouts. In my opinion, he does. I want to tiptoe around you guys because you guys are Gator fans, and obviously you guys are going to protect him. But it's time to kind of be unbiased here. He does. He has a ceiling that he hasn't reached yet, and he can reach depending on the team that drafts him and develops him, and if obviously he puts in the work, which I think he will. And I see AR as this guy that can really be a top 5 quarterback in the league. I really do. Right now he's not. You guys might hate me for this, but I don't think he's a top 10 pick. I think with what he's shown, I think he'll drop out of the top 10. He'll be first round, but I just don't think he is that because of of the things that he still needs to fix. Now, me saying all this, right? I see the future of AR being a top 5 QB in the NFL. And, well, of course, you take him, but it's still a risk because you don't know if he's going to develop to be that. I'm taking the leap of faith and saying, you know what, AR will be that because he's got some things that you just can't teach. You can't teach. So with AR having that already, it's on the team, it's on himself to build on being that quarterback that he'll once be in the NFL moving forward. So I think his draft stock is very dependent on how teams look at him. And I know some teams have the vision that I have. That's the thing. I see the Seahawks, having a love for him, and I see what they're doing over there for him. So if that's one of those teams, then I think AR does go top 10. I think he does. But I think a lot of teams around the league are not seeing him as, well, I don't want to reach for him. You know what I'm saying? I think that they're going to wait for him a little bit later if they can. That's my consensus, though.
Yeah, I like it. I think speaking of AR first, I think that AR, like you said, has things that you can't teach. And I think the best way to look at players, especially from players that went to your college that you're a big fan of, is to think about if your team drafted a player, how would you feel about them, right? So from a Ravens perspective, if they drafted him, I think I would be happy at first because it's a UF guy from Gainesville, Florida, where I grew up at. That's playing for my team, right? That's a great thing. But looking at him, he has a lot of work to do. There's just some things that he got away with in college that you can't get away with in the NFL. You know what I mean?
No.
Like I think you guys remember back in the first game against Utah when he ran for like a 50-yard touchdown, right, off a scramble, right, where he went to the left side, nobody was there, right?
Yep.
That's not gonna happen in the NFL. That stuff right there is not going to be there. You're not going to be able to juke 5 guys going down the field, clicking at him as well. Remember, he ran like a 60-yard touchdown where he like broke like 4 tackles. That is not happening in the NFL. You know what I mean? So he has to be able to, learn how to improvise, make different plays out of the pocket, stuff like that. But the thing that Bryce Young has, where he can make a play out of nowhere, AR doesn't have that. But that's definitely a skill you can kind of like, make as you go. So
100%.
Will Levis, I never thought he was that good, to be honest. I just thought he had the body of an NFL QB, but I just never thought he was that good. I thought he was a good college QB. I thought he was like tough. I thought he had a good attitude, but I never thought he was that good thinking of an NFL quarterback, So I don't think it's that crazy to say he won't be drafted in the top 10. I think if he get drafted, if he goes day 2, I wouldn't be surprised at all, So that's just my 2 cents.
I think Levis is a day 2 quarterback. That's my opinion, though. But a lot of NFL scouts and draft boards are saying otherwise. But I think and I go back to what I was saying about AR. It all comes to development. Like There are some quarterbacks in the league right now that we didn't think that they would turn out to be this good, but they have because they just developed, in a way that we didn't think they would. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah, I
I
agree.
thought, you know what, guys? You guys remember when Justin Herbert got drafted, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there was talk about him coming out of Oregon and all that, but I honestly thought that was a little bit of a reach, in my opinion. In my opinion, I thought it was a bit of a reach to take him. I thought, there wasn't a lot of smoke behind Mahomes either, coming out of college. Yeah, he was a good pro. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna get drafted and whatnot. But look at what he turned out to be. Look what nobody was gonna tell me that. Oh yeah, Mahomes gets drafted and he's gonna turn out to be the number one quarterback in the NFL. Hell no, I'm not taking that from anybody. I'm not biting that. He came out of college. There was good, smoke about him, but no way in hell did I ever think that Mahomes was going to turn out to be. So I think AR could possibly be that too, as far as developing goes and development.
So I'm gonna agree with a couple of things y'all said, and I'm gonna disagree on a couple of things y'all said. You thinking that Justin Herbert was not a top 5 pick is nuts, but we're gonna leave that there. Mahomes, I agree with. Mahomes was a guy out of Texas Tech. Not many people have many eyes on him, but he had a great highlights and great stats at Texas Tech. But the Justin Herbert, that is crazy. Now back to AR and with Levis. I remember I was high on him out of high school because he had like that that NFL quarterback type body already, and he went to Penn State. But then he got beat out with a short guy over there. I don't know how, Clifford, whatever his name is, and then he transferred over to Kentucky. I think Kentucky he was a good quarterback. I just didn't really see anything special about him. He had a great attitude, great drive. He loved playing football. He learned very fast, and he he grabbed all the culture from Kentucky, and like that underdog culture that they have in Kentucky, and made them a decent football team for the past 2-3 years. Now him going second in the second day, I'm not surprised about that at all. His stats are not that great, and he's been a quarterback for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? As to AR, I agree with Omar when saying that his intangibles are not intangible, but his experience is not there. Like we got to remember, he only played 1 full year of college, just
He's
1 year. He
21.
20, yeah, he's just 21. So he's young. He's 21-year-old. He only played 1 season. The season before that, Dan Mullen's idiot self never gave him any playing time against trash ass teams. Put him in there versus Georgia and gave that man PTSD. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot that goes into it, but he has the arm. He can run. We've seen this. We've seen this. But I'm gonna disagree with Greg in a couple of things. Because Greg said that he can't make plays out of nothing. I think the first game overall versus Utah, he made a big play to win that game, which was that scramble, spin around, pass it to whatever the wide receiver was to get the 2 points. Man, who is texting me, man? Sorry, I'm getting distracted with these dings. Anyways, so that's the first thing. Then the other play, there's other plays too where I've seen him go crazy, especially when he made that throw in the pocket to versus Tennessee in that game. Thank you. I don't know if y'all remember that game or not, but the man he had 2 blitzes going and breaking into the tackles. He jumped to the left a little bit, 2 steps forward, dot down to zipper, and that was like a 50-yard touchdown. So he's able to make the plays. And about running, man, Greg, I'm surprised that you said that because Lamar Jackson does that all the time. Lamar Jackson breaks for 50-yarders all the time.
Yeah, but I think
and
what
breaks
Greg
tackles.
was talking about, I think what Greg was talking about is the defense schematically. Like, I don't think a lot of defenses would have made that mistake with a quarterback, with AR, for example. In that play, if you analyze that play, that I don't think in the NFL he could have gotten away with that one. Now Lamar, on the other hand, schematically, he would have probably read, okay, they don't got me here. They don't got me. I'm taking off. But we don't know if AR would have made that right decision, that Lamar would make. Is basically what he's trying to say. It's not I don't think Greg admits that he can't pull it off. It's just like schematically, he might not be able to read exactly how Lamar reads it. I don't know. Maybe
Okay, I took it more as he can't run over somebody when AR is way bigger than Lamar, and Lamar and runs just as fast as Lamar.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that, bro. I was saying like some things he gets away with in college, you won't get away with in the NFL. That's what I was
Oh
saying.
yeah, for sure. No, okay,
That's
yeah.
what I
No,
was
I totally agree with that. He for sure. There's some things that he can't do the same mistakes that he did in college if he wants to have a successful time in the NFL. Just to keep it short. Other than that, I'm gonna pass it on to Justin. But a team like the Seahawks is ideally a team that I see him go into. A team that has a quarterback. They just extended Geno Smith for another 2-3 years. That allows AR to learn from a decent quarterback because we've seen him. I mean, there's a reason why he's been in the league for 12 years. You don't stay in the league for 12 years, you're ass. So he can learn from a decent quarterback. He can he can learn from the system, as a backup. And then whenever they're getting blown out, or if they're blowing somebody out, or Gino, gets hurt, he can step in and get some playing time. That way, when he comes in year 3, that's his year. That's his prove it year. Like, okay, I know
right.
what I'm doing. I can win a couple of games. The Seahawks are doing a great job on offensive line, the running backs and wide receivers. The defensive side, they're doing a lot better as well. So, as the team like the Seahawks is a team that I have an eye out for them drafting. They are.
Jabo, what about you? Uh-oh.
Buddy, you're muted, my guy.
Mike. Uh-oh.
Oh man.
All right, well, we'll let Jay Butt work on his mic situation. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the NFC East because I know we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we started talking about it briefly.
Yeah, we started talking about it, and then we dropped at the I believe it was the Eagles and the Giants. The last 2 teams.
Yeah, we no, actually we didn't get to the Commanders. We just did the Cowboys. We did the Cowboys, and
I thought we did the Commanders.
Nope, we didn't do the Commanders. We didn't talk about Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
Right? But
all right, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that we had more important things to talk about last episode with Lamar Jackson situation. So that's why we had to kind of, move away from the NFC East. But
yep. So who are we starting with? We're talking with the Commanders, Eagles, or Giants? So we gotta.
We're gonna save the Giants for last because
Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Commanders.
Yeah.
Let's go do the Commanders right quick. So we lost Justin for a little bit here. I think he's having some issues. But that's okay. Everybody has some type of issues with the technology. It happens. So let's go ahead with the Commanders, man. And
the Commanders, they're kind of doing their thing, bro. That Bieniemy hire was big for them, man. I know some people in here, like Ed and Greg, are big Bieniemy fans. So, what do you guys think about that hire for Washington? Because that's concerning as hell for me as a Giants fan.
I think that it was long overdue. I think that Bieniemy should have gotten a head coaching job 2 years ago after this first Super Bowl. There was no reason for him not to get a head coaching job. I don't know if it's the fact that they never offered him or the fact that he was just not interested because he wanted to take over the Chiefs. But I think it was long overdue. And I think with the Commanders, man, with the defensive side that they have, which is all pro in every single level, if you really look at it, if they can have a decent offense, they win games. They make the playoffs easily because they hold teams to like under 20 points every game. And that we're talking about playing against the Eagles, who have a firepower of an offense, Giants, who stepped up last year, and the Cowboys also have a very good offense as well. So if the Commanders can get an offensive side that can match or just a little bit match what the defensive side can do, that's a very dangerous team.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I honestly thought if I'm the Commanders, man, I'm going all in for Lamar. But that's just me. I'm not going to say that too loud. But it's literally they're a quarterback away. Greg, I know you're shaking your head. I see you shaking your head because that's an interstate rival right there. But, I mean, they are a quarterback away from competing, if we're being honest. especially with the caliber of Lamar. They signed Jacoby Brissett, which is it's interesting because now you got Brissett. Who do you think starts there? Who do you think starts in Washington? Because
I don't think it's Brissett. I think the who starts there is the guy from UNC. What's his name? Sam Howell. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that I think Howell starts because in the last stretch of games, he was taking the majority of the snaps, and the offense looked a little bit different. A little bit step forward, and they already said that they wanted to use him as the head coach. As the starting quarterback over there. It's just a matter of fact if him and Bieniemy can click. Now, obviously, if they go in for a trade for Lamar Jackson, that's a whole different ordeal. But I think Sam Howell, if they don't make the trade, I think Sam Howell is the guy.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of the Commanders too much last season, but I did remember seeing that Sam Howell was the guy like the last 4 or 5 games. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think first off with that Eric Bellamy hire, if I'm saying his name wrong, I apologize, but amazing hire. Y'all know I wanted him, but I think me not being selfish, definitely this is the best choice for him. He at least gets assistant head coach, associate head coach role, and OC.
He does get an assistant head coach role. Yeah.
I think that's good. That way he's not starting with a team that's just trash to where he'll just do bad to just be thrown to the wolves, right? I think the team for him that's like good, not great, but definitely good. And then if he makes that team better, which I think he will, implements his plans and gets away from that, he was just Andy Reid's, guy, if he gets away from that stigma and then does well with the Commanders, I think the boys could be dangerous. I think Eric has something to prove. Like I said, he has something to prove. He's going to have people who have been saying he hasn't gotten that job for a reason. Like it's all been Andy Reid in Kansas City. He's not really that guy, which is a valid, critique you could say. But I still have faith in him. I think he's great. If you're the players that I played for him in the past couple of years, they've said he's been great as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I'm happy for him. He deserves this. Like Ed said, this should have happened 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, long ass time ago.
After the first Super Bowl, the Chiefs won, whatever year that was, in 2018.
2018, 2018, 2019, one of the two.
I think the Commanders. I think Bieniemy is going to use Terry McLaurin a little bit like he used Tyreek Hill. That's my prediction. I think him.
I don't know. I don't know if it's Terry McLaurin, but I think Jahan Dotson. Jahan Dotson had a very.
He's underrated.
He had a very good. Yeah, he had a. He was only a rookie. He was only a rookie last year. He put great stats up. His speed is different. He's only 22, so he has his whole career ahead of him. So I think Jahan Dotson is the guy that could do that for the Commanders.
That or I'm sorry about that.
No, go ahead. Who?
I was saying either Dotson or Samuels, Curtis Samuels. I think that's a guy.
Yeah, they got receivers, man. They got receivers. That's not a problem.
They do. Yeah. So it's that QB, man. It's literally the QB. Brian Robinson's going to come back next year with vengeance because, he obviously shot his leg last year, but he didn't really come off 100% back from that. And, he's going to come back fired up next season. So I can't wait to see it. As a fan of the Giants, it's always good when the whole entire, division is competitive. So I like to see Washington get back to it. But you know what? You know what this causes me to do? Moving on to Philadelphia.
So hold up. Yeah. Before we do that, Omar, let's pause right quick. Justin, go ahead and talk and see if your mic is working. What's going on over there?
Nope.
Oh my God.
We gotta move on.
Okay. I think Justin is having some trouble. We'll see him next week. But let's move on. We'll see him next week, man.
God damn.
Okay. No, man. Respectfully.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Omar.
You're just talking about Philadelphia, and you guys already know how I feel about Philadelphia. So, I'm gonna save my thoughts.
For everybody out there, with the one viewer I see that's online right now, the one viewer. This man Omar hates the whole entirety of the city of Philadelphia for absolutely zero reason. That man hates anybody from Philadelphia, hates any team from Philadelphia, hates anything. He wants Philadelphia to be nuked for whatever reason. I've never seen somebody hate a whole city for
Do
no
you
reason.
know that
But that's Omar.
the average NFL fan that is not an Eagles fan knows how miserable and insufferable that fan base is? And they can agree that they are one of the worst fan bases in the entire NFL, and I don't think that's up for debate. I think there's a lot of people that can agree with that statement, and
No, I don't disagree with that statement. I don't disagree with
okay, but that's
the,
just starting. That's just starting with the fan base. That's just starting with the fan base. I can keep going about the team itself and how tragic of a franchise it's been. You've been around for however many years, and you only got one Super Bowl to show for it. You've been around the same time as the Giants. And you have one Super Bowl, and you want to bang your chest. You want to bang your chest about how you're this great team and you guys are the best fans in the world. Okay. For what? For what exactly? But anyways, that doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. We got to talk about what their additions have been and what they who they lost this offseason, and will they make it back to the Super Bowl? So,
all right.
Go ahead, Greg. Take the floor.
So I think we talked about this maybe last episode or episode before, but we talked about how teams in the NFL have a 2 to 3 year window of being at the top, right? And of course, you have your outliers like the Chiefs right now, and the Patriots, a few years ago. But the Eagles, I think, in my opinion, they're in the last year of that window going into next year, right? Because they got Kelsey for 1 year for like, 10, 15 million. They got Brandon Graham, who's like getting older now. I think this might be his last year in his contract as well.
Yeah.
Fletcher Cox, he only has 1 year as well.
Yeah.
I think they just lost Slay, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, he agreed. He agreed to a 3-year, $42 million deal.
All right, I'm sorry. So Slay stayed. CJG is gone. That's who left, right?
He went to the Lions.
Yeah. So I mean, they still got.
It's a big loss. That's a big loss because CJ was big for them. He was really big. He was a key part of the offense.
He was very good.
Yes, he was huge for that secondary. So, and then offensively, not much has really changed. They lost their running back. I forgot his name.
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is gone. He's been a big.
Boston Scott.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is gone. They got Boston Scott though, but I think what's up?
Rashad Penny. That's what I meant. I didn't mean Miles Sanders. Yeah,
that's not a big addition, to be honest.
Yeah, Rashad. You don't think Rashad Penny's a big addition?
No, man. He's always injured.
No, that's true. That's true. I thought that Rashad was having a good year before Walker came in. Like before his injury, I thought he was having a decent year. But maybe that's just my fantasy brain.
He's had a good year for Penny. But not like a great year. To where like if somebody signs on, they're gonna be like, oh, we got Rashad Penny.
Gotcha. All right.
So I will say, I'll say this, Greg. I'll say that, in my opinion, I don't think that this is the last year for them, simply for the fact that Jalen Hurts just got there. You know what I'm saying? Like he just got the starting position last year. So after the first year, he took him to the Super Bowl. So I do agree that every team has a window except if you're freaking Chiefs or the Patriots or whatever team, but I think that their window just kind of started.
Yeah, debatable. I can kind of see where you're coming from. Because they do have the best wide receiver duo in the league, in my opinion, with Smitty and AJ Brown. I think definitely AJ Brown has just entered his prime, and I think Smitty is being Smitty. Smitty's not nowhere near his prime yet, which is crazy to think about, right? So I kind of see where you're coming from with that. I just think of when I look at all the Super Bowl teams, Super Bowl champions that have won, they've had an amazing defense, and their defense is slowly deteriorating. If you kind of look at it, right?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
Brandon Graham's old.
Right.
Yeah, but they got Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean's nice. He hasn't done that much though, from what I've seen. I think he's just been special teams and situations here and there. I'm still excited to see what he can do if he can get some playing time and do his thing. But as far as what we've seen from the Eagles, like looking at 2017, looking at when they made it again last year, that defense has been insane. So I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely difficult to make it to the Super Bowl back-to-back years. I'm interested to see kind of how they bounce back this upcoming year. And I do agree with Ed that Jalen Hurts is that guy. He is their guy. He's going to definitely help them. Like, they're definitely going to set a QB for the next 10 years.
Yes.
Opinion,
Easy.
So we'll see. That's my opinion on the Eagles. That's all I really got to say, but we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, the Eagles. I think the only problem with them is that they're in a really hard division. The NFC East was the hardest division last year in football.
Yeah.
You guys saw the records. Like three teams made it to the playoffs. So, like Greg said, it's hard to make it to back-to-back Super Bowls now. When you got a competitive division, like you don't know if you're even gonna get that if you're gonna get to host the divisional round, the NFC Championship, because it's a hard feat to do. But I think they got a playoff team. On paper, they got a playoff team. They'll make the playoffs, but it's gonna be hard for them to compete against. It hurts me to say, but Dallas I don't think they're gonna go anywhere, even though they choke every year in the playoffs. They're like a constant bug that's always like getting into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Washington getting better is important for the division, because it kind of makes it hard for even the Giants, to kind of make it out. And that division is actually insane if we look at it. And if we get and if Washington gets Lamar, I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard
but
for
Jalen. You know what's crazy though? The fact that the NFC East and the AFC East were both horrible divisions. Horrible. They really only had one team. Oh, okay. Well, the AFC East will only have the Patriots winning. It was like an easy 6 wins every single year. Now you're talking about the Jets are competitive, the Bills are competitive, and the Dolphins. Patriots fell off. And you're talking about the NFC East, and in the NFC East, this division, they were like the common team to have a losing record or almost losing record or close to 500 team make the playoffs because the division wasn't so good. And then over the past 5 years, you've seen the trend of them, being better. Cowboys winning the same games that the same amount of games that they win every single year, except they don't do anything about it. And then you have the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, I think 2017, and they've been constant there, right? And then the Giants coming out of nowhere last year, and now the Commanders possibly being there. And let's not forget the Commanders made the playoffs 2 years ago.
Yeah, they did.
So, it's just crazy how it flip-flopped. They were trash, horrible division, and now they're one of the most competitive.
So, quick question to you guys, because we love bashing the Cowboys, and it's all fun, and I love it too. But do you guys almost feel like they're due? Like they're due, like, I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but like, I don't know, man. Like at least making it to the Super Bowl, I feel like they're kind of due, but yet you got the 40, like the whole entire conference is competitive too. So it's like, you don't know if the Cowboys 1 year, they're just going to like surprise people and like, oh, do you think that could be the year where they're like, they make it past?
The thing about the Cowboys is the fact that over the years, their defense was a problem. Then their defense last year was very good, and their offense was a problem. So, I mean, I agree. I agree with you. Like the Cowboys are overdue. They are overdue to get that Super Bowl. It's been 3 decades. What was 92 when the last won it?
No, I think 95, but still, it's been almost 30 years.
Okay, so almost 30 years. Next year will be 30 years. They've won maybe a handful of games of playoff games in the past decade. So yeah, they're overdue. But I also think that the 49ers are overdue. 49ers are one of those teams that they make it to the Super Bowl, they lose. They make it to the NFC Championship, they lose. Another team that's always knocking on the door.
Yeah. So, and we all can agree that Jerry Jones is the problem in Big D. Like that's
absolutely.
Yeah. Like, that they know that. And well, anyways, on to the next team, which is my beloved New York Giants. Obviously, I think the biggest news out of the whole offseason is that we re-signed Daniel Jones. Go ahead, Greg.
So how do you feel about that? No. How do you feel about that, big guy?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to take the floor first? I'll take the floor. All right.
Can you go? How about this? Can you just talk about what you think about Daniel Jones real quick and then save your tangent for the end?
Okay, yeah, we'll do our Daniel Jones thoughts right now. All right. So Daniel Jones last year made a leap from his first 3 years in the league, right? And to me, it was good seeing him that he didn't turn the ball over a lot. I think he only threw like 5 interceptions, which is great if you think about it. But the only problem is he only threw 16 touchdowns or 15 touchdowns. So when you look at it like that, it's like Mike Kafka was almost protecting Daniel Jones from maybe committing, because I saw many of the games. We were very conservative over the air. Kafka always had a game plan to where it was a lot of play action to throw the defense off balance and make sure that Daniel Jones had an open shot to a receiver for either short or medium yardage. And I must mention this because this was a really big part of the problem. We had a lot of practice squad receivers throughout the whole season. So that could have also not helped DJ, throw the ball around. So it's almost like we still don't know. Okay, we'll give him a Pro Bowl receiver, give him a All Pro receiver, which they didn't get this offseason, but it's it's weird. It's weird because now we got Paris Campbell, but I'm not going to get into that yet. But those are basically my thoughts on Daniel Jones, Greg. What are your thoughts?
So I'm just gonna give my thoughts on the Giants first, and then Daniel Jones second. All right. Giants as a whole, I owe them an apology. So during the Vikings Giants, I think it was, I don't know if it was divisional or wild card, one of the two. I said that there's no way in hell they're gonna beat the Vikings, right? I was wrong. So I have an apology to you, Omar, and everybody else.
All Giants Nation.
Yeah, so I apologize, Big Blue Nation. I don't want no smoke. I promise you. You guys got it. What I want to say about the Giants is, it was kind of refreshing and satisfying to see them beat the Vikings that bad. It was kind of cool to see Daniel Jones show up in the playoffs, because that's just somebody who I disrespected for the longest too, and who I want an apology as well, because I just said he looks like a guy who went to Duke. You know what I mean? Like, he never was going to be somebody that's going to be taken seriously in the league. He's never going to be somebody that was going to actually do something in the league for any team. And the fact that he took the Giants and beat the team who I think was a first or second seed in the NFC, and did the thing, throughout the whole regular season, it was kind of wild to see. So, I think the Giants, if they play their cards right and they make the right moves with the draft, which I don't know if they've been doing good with the draft these past few years. From what I remember, they haven't really been that good.
Yeah, no, okay, so previous to our new GM, we've been really bad, but Shane last year, he made some good moves. I'd give him a B- for what the draft has turned out to be, but we'll see what he does this year.
Quick question. If you don't know this on top of your head, it's fine. What pick do you guys have?
The 25th, if I'm not mistaken.
25th? Okay. If you guys make a good move, if you guys can somehow maybe trade forward, or move the right cards around and play your cards right, make a few additions here and there, you guys could do something. You guys could definitely make it to the second, third round, divisional conference round in the playoffs, in my opinion. So I think the Giants are definitely a team that are not to be disrespected anymore. I think they're better than the Cowboys, in my opinion. I think they finished second or first. I'll take the Giants over the Cowboys, in my opinion. Put this on TikTok. I don't care. I will stand in the paint on that one. I think the Giants are better than the Cowboys.
Hot take. That's a hot take. Even as a Giants fan, that's a hot take.
But don't.
That's a hot take.
Make it hot as hell, then. God damn it. But yeah, I be taking the Giants over the Cowboys. I think the boys have a better record than the Giants. Clip this too as well. I think the Giants will finish higher than the Cowboys in the regular season. I think they'll go further in the playoffs than the Cowboys in the regular season. I mean, in the
Clip it.
I think Daniel Jones might have a better career than Dak Prescott. I think that Saquon Barkley is better than anybody on the Cowboys offense.
Saquon has been better.
Whoa.
That playoff game they have against the Vikings, that man Saquon.
Come on, man.
Hey, bro. Hey, listen.
So with all the injuries Saquon has suffered, would you say that Saquon Prime is better than Ezekiel Elliott Prime? Would you say that?
No. He's better than Ezekiel Elliott now.
Okay.
Zeke had 1,800 yards in the season, bro. I can't let that fly.
All right.
I'm Zeke.
All right, I was reaching for that one, Greg. I was reaching for that one.
No, 2016 Zeke. No, it's way better than Saquon. But I think
I got you.
At his best, aka him in that playoff game against the Vikings, is better than anybody else on that Cowboys offense at their best. My opinion. So that's what Giants hold much of the mic, but you guys turn.
All right.
Wow. Okay, so a few things I want to say.
Yes.
If you give Barkley the Cowboys offensive line, you don't think he does the same?
Ooh,
The Cowboys.
that's a good point.
If you give Barkley the Cowboys offensive line in
that's
2017,
all-pro.
2016, when Ezekiel Elliott went for 1,800 yards, you don't think Barkley can do that too? We're talking about all-pro offensive line.
Yeah, I think he could. I just think that thinking of if you're trying to talk about strictly the Cowboys offensive line, because they're just a team that just runs strictly downhill. With that, I think he definitely can get as many yards as Zeke did. I don't know, bro. That's tough because Zeke is just somebody that you can just straight up get in the I formation and just run left or run right, and he's breaking 1 and 2 tackles, getting to the second or third level every single time. Saquon's not the type of back, right? He can want to definitely maybe get to the second level here and there, but he's not going to be someone that you can just line up in the I formation, run left or right.
Okay.
It's hard to compare,
Okay. And the other thing, what was the other thing that you said? Barkley being better than every offensive player in the Cowboys, that's nuts because they got CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's not no joke.
CeeDee Lamb's not a joke, but is CeeDee Lamb
Bro,
the top?
come on, man. CeeDee Lamb is one of the top. He's up there, bro. The wide receiver.
Let me turn it back a little bit. Let me go back on that a little bit. I think that he's better than every offensive skill player. I think that Tyron Smith and them boys, he's not better than them. My bad. That's just crazy. But skill guys, I'm taking Saquon.
I agree,
Okay.
Greg. I agree.
I don't know if I'll agree with all that, but that's fine. That's why we have a podcast, right? With the Giants, I just want to hear Omar say, Eddie, you were right. Because for 10 years, I've been telling Omar, bro, y'all need an offensive line. No, bro, we need a defensive lineman, and we need a quarterback and a Barkley and all this. If you wouldn't have drafted Barkley, you would have had a hell of offensive line. And Barkley wouldn't have gotten injured 58,000 times. Guess what happens? The first season, the Giants get a decent offensive line. They actually draft their trenches very well. They make the playoffs, and Daniel Jones doesn't look like a duck. The first season.
Like I said, I thought Kafka did a great job of protecting DJ because there's a lot of plays where we were very conservative, very, very conservative, and rightfully so. He doesn't want to throw DJ out there to the wolves. So I get it. And one thing with Eddie is that he did, I can confirm one thing with Ed is that he did tell me that Daniel Jones would be better if he had an offensive line. And he knew Daniel Jones had everything that it took to be an NFL quarterback. Like he does, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it in his first few years. It's just a lot of growing pains too with that. And obviously now with Andrew Thomas, who's becoming a Pro Bowl, he was a Pro Bowl left tackle. We got Evans from Alabama in the last draft and our right tackle. And Evan Neal, sorry. And I think we look good now in the trenches. We still need to, I think, fortify the guard and center position.
Which you can definitely do at the 25th position.
It's a little bit of a. I think if we want to be serious, we got to take an offensive interior lineman there. But now, as of right now, I think for DJ is receiving partnership. What do you guys think about Paris Campbell? Do you guys think that's a good pickup for us?
Yeah, I mean Paris Campbell's a guy for the Colts that they never had a decent quarterback. Let's be honest there. Ever since Andrew Luck left the Colts, how he did, right, retiring wise, they never had a good quarterback. And he was still able to put up decent stats. I'm not saying they were great stats, because they were like 600 yards, 2-3 touchdowns, 700 yards, whatever, right? But he was able to put decent stats with the Colts. So I think with a team with the Giants, with a coach that you guys have, I think that he easily goes into the first spot, wide receiver, and puts decent yardage for you guys, and does a good job. So I think that's a good pickup, and it's only 1 year. So if it doesn't work out, he's gone.
Yeah, and we got Darren Waller, which I'm a little bit excited about. Darren Waller for that third round pick that we got from Kansas City to send Tony to the Chiefs. But he's obviously an older guy, 30, 31 years old. The
Yep.
thing with tight ends, as we see, they can last longer than other positions. So,
Yeah.
he's he's going to be a guy that's going to be there for a few years. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what they can do. We got some veterans in the offense, and Matt Breida. That's important. And your guy, Gerard Davis plays. He signed another contract with the Giants. We'll see. I think Gerard is a good sideline to sideline. I think he just struggles with pass coverage. That's mainly his.
It's always been his problem.
Yeah, but he's a good run stopper, man. He'll
Yeah.
get all the way to the sideline if he needs to. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the Giants can do. I'm not gonna overly saturate the podcast with Giants because this is a NFL podcast and we gotta move it. So yeah, that's all I got.
Well, so now we got to give our thoughts on who's going to win the NFC East and the AFC East. Well, no, the NFC East. That's it.
Yeah.
So who do you got, Omar? Actually, Omar, we'll leave you for last. Greg, go ahead. Who do you think is
NFC
going to win
East.
the NFC East?
You want me to say like who I think is going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, just who's going to win?
1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
1, 2,
Yeah,
4.
whatever you think, whatever you want.
1 Eagles, 2 Giants, 3 Cowboys, and 4 Commanders.
And you think one of those spots will be a wild card team?
I think 1 and 2. I think it could repeat with all 3 teams making.
Ooh, damn, that's tough.
It
I
could.
only say I only agree with you, Greg, if Washington gets better. If they look like a real team, I think it could be a 1, 2, 3 again.
It could be that, and if it couldn't be if the Panthers do what I think they're going to do next year. I think the Panthers are going to be a little bit better next year. They have weapons, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I was saying is, I think Eagles, they still got people coming back, and I think the boys are hungry. They're going to go first. I think Giants will take that big leap, especially since the fact that they beat the Vikings in the playoffs. They're going to definitely improve and go fight for that second spot. Cowboys going to be the Cowboys. Don't really have much to say about them. And Commanders, they'll get better, but they won't really do much because that division is, like you said, the toughest in the league right now, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
So the reason that I'm gonna say that there's not 3 teams coming out of the NFC East is because I think there's gonna be 3 teams coming out of the NFC North. Ooh. But I think that I think the Eagles are gonna be one.
That's bold.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna be 1. The Giants will be 2. I'm gonna be bold again, and I think the Commanders make take that step and they upset the Cowboys, and the Cowboys end up being last. I think the Cowboys take a step back. I really do. I think they take a step back. I think the Commanders are 3rd. They finish 3rd, and the Cowboys end up at 4th.
That's valid. I think, we were talking about the Cowboys being overdue and whatnot, to like make that push through in the playoffs and make the Super Bowl. But I think they're also overdue in taking a step back because the Cowboys have been very consistent in the division. Like they've won division titles from like the last 10 years. I think they got a big handful of them. So I think the Cowboys could end up being that last place team, and the Commanders make that leap. But I'm going to put the Commanders last until they can prove to me otherwise in the quarterback room, or somehow I see a change in week 1 through 4 where they're a serious team, But the NFL is so full of parity. We don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the Commanders 4. I'm gonna put the Cowboys at 3rd, Giants 2nd, and Eagles winning the division again. So I think it's exciting that the Giants are coming back with the same coaching core. I think I forgot to touch on that. Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, and Marlon Winkdale, they're super, super, they're just, I don't know, man. Like you saw it last year, Ed. They're a good coaching staff.
Yep.
So I think And Dable, winning Coach of the Year, that was big. So I think they're going to be the reason we make it to second place if and we'll get that wild card spot. So, but yeah, that's it.
So that's enough about the NFC East. East. The next episode we will be touching about the NFC South and the AFC South, which surprisingly now are both the worst divisions. So we went from the best divisions in football to the worst division in football.
On paper.
On paper, right?
Right.
Because wow, the AFC South is garbage, and last year the NFC South was horrific. So that'll be next talk. That'll be next our next episode. But yeah, man, it's a lot to see in the NFC East. Very exciting times. I think that as a Giants fan, every game counts. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I think in the NFL, every game counted anyways. But I think now even more. Like even now it's like you have to win.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially if you give a fat contract to DJ.
Yeah. No, there's no excuses now. We'll see.
Yep.
I'm excited. So we'll see. Football season's only what 4 months away? 4 or 5 months?
I know the exact days that's left for NFL football. 160 days.
That's not bad.
So we can make it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, like Ed said, we'll be talking about the NFC South next episode for you guys. We appreciate you guys. We love y'all as much as support us as much as possible. Like I said, follow us on all socials. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I might be missing something else. But at 352 Blitz, all one word. Find us everywhere. Like I said, if you have an opinion if you have an opinion on the things that we said, you think we said something crazy, stupid, let us know. We are open to all smoke. We love to hear everybody's opinions and get you guys involved for sure as well. So, like I said, we love y'all. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, guys.